Good morning, everyone. The other day, Adeboye said that the problem of Nigeria is now a spiritual problem. Despite Adeboye coming against the government like Goodluck Jonathan government, calling Goodluck Jonathan, incompetent, that Nigeria is bleeding and so on and so forth. But this Tinubu's administration now, Nigeria problem has now become a spiritual problem. Anyway, I have respect for old age. Adeboye, I think he should retire because sometimes his utterances is contradicting everything people know about God and the dignity of, Christianity.
That the problems our nation is facing is more than political. That our problem will require quite a bit of spiritual solution. We as a country are blessed. We are blessed with people with great intelligence. We are blessed with all manners of resources, and yet we have so many problems. And it's not as if the people in authority are not trying their best. They're doing as much as humanly possible. And then we find that when you have problems that are beyond human's ability.
Every Nigerian knows that the problem we have today is not a spiritual problem, like what Adeboye is saying now, that the problem we have is a spiritual problem. Adeboye, why is it that you don't want to maintain your integrity? Because you supported Tinubu's government, you supported Buhari's government, you remain mute. You are seeing what is going on. You are not trying to come out to pardon us, to say these problems are spiritual problems, so that people will not be angry with the current administration, who through their policies have meted the hearts of the citizens into fire. Now, let me tell you something. Removal of fuel subsidy is not spiritual. Buying of presidential jet is not spiritual amidst poverty. The stealing of crude oil is not spiritual, Adeboye. The silence about insecurity is not spiritual, Adeboye. But you know what? I think Olusegun Obasanjo did the right thing to reply him. Now, in response, Olusegun Obasanjo said that our poverty in Africa is not an act of God, but from poor mentality, and which is absolutely correct. Our poverty in Africa is not an act of God, but from poor mentality. In Africa, once people said it is a spiritual problem, they try a way to make sure they don't blame people. For them, anything spiritual, you don't have to blame them. It's a spiritual problem. Gonna do this. Adeboye should know that those are old, skills to deceive people, not this generation. You will come out to tell that the problem they are seeing, you are causing the problem, and you are telling them that the problem is spiritual. So there is nothing spiritual about Nigeria problem. Now, the article was written on 26th day of August 2024, and it was published by Shara Reporters, and it reads: the former Nigeria President Olusegun Obasanjo has stated that the current poverty facing Africa is not an act of God, or is not a creation of God. The former head of state and civilian president said this on Monday at the opening ceremony of the Festac Africa Festival at the Jomo Kenyatta Stadium in Kisumu, Kenya. He noted that considering the continent's abundant resources, there is no reason for its poverty. Obasanjo said, Africa has no reason to be poor. Our poverty is not an act of God. We are steeped in poverty due to our poor mentality. We need to wake up because we have a wealth of resources. If you look back in history, you will see that whenever others needed to get work done, they came to Africa to transport black people to the so-called New World to make others rich. And that hasn't stopped. The slave trade led to colonialism. We enrich others while remaining impoverished. We need to awaken. Structural adjustment was the idea of the World Bank. However, I disagree because we lack the structure. What exactly are we adjusting? They were simply deceiving us. Obasanjo also expressed his delight over the return of the Festival of Art and Culture, whose second edition was held in Nigeria during his tenure as military head of state in 1977. The first edition of the widely acclaimed festival was held 11 years earlier in Dakar, Senegal in 1966. He continued, I am here to express my appreciation and thanks first to the governor of Kisumu County, Anyango, Nyango for hosting Festac here and contributing to what I call a resilience and rebate of Festac. Now, the issue of Festac is not the purpose of the video, so let me stop reading the articles there. So what Obasanjo was saying in Kenya is that Nigeria or Africa problem is not spiritual, as Adeboye said. The problem is more of leadership problem, mentality, the way our leaders think. And now I know that a lot of people will say, oh, Adeboye, Obasanjo should keep quiet, he's part of the problem, blah, 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 blah. During the Obasanjo's tenure, the problem of Nigeria is not like this. You might say, oh, he contributed to it. But despite you said he contributed to it, during his administration, things are not like this. So everything was just, okay, manageable. But now there is nothing to write about. So this man should be allowed to talk. When he says something that is not good, yes, you can correct him. But when he says something that is perfect, I think it is important we take note. Because if someone reply Adeboye today and they will say, oh, this person don't have respect, this person don't do this, but Adeboye should know that he's saying that Nigeria problem is spiritual. It's an insult to God. Because God has blessed Nigeria through capacity, human resources, and natural resources. Tell me, what do you want for God to do for Nigeria? So you don't call evil, don't say, oh, it is the devil's handwork. In fact, I don't even know whether devil is more powerful than human being. I don't know. So there is nothing spiritual about the problem of Africa or the problem of Nigeria. And when I said that Nigeria problem is not a spiritual problem, this is what I mean. The people who destroy these houses, the people who are carrying out these acts, and the people who are unable as a government to defend the people, there is nothing spiritual here. There is nothing spiritual at all. So there is nothing to talk about the spirituality of this problem. Now, the House of Rep members who came from these villages, this area, the local government, where all these bandits are ravaging, they came to the House to say that, oh, we are facing problem. We should do something. Have they done anything since then physical that it did not work? Absolutely no. Take a listen.
The man with unlimited humility and simplicity. Respected honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Pastor Ojema Ojotu. I represent the good people of Apagatu Federal Constituency of Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I wish to crave the indulgence of the House to, in line with Order 8, Rule 5, consider this my motion that border on the insecurity and invasion of the people of Apagatu Federal Constituency. On this note, I'd like to move that we should suspend the relevant rule of the House and give me the opportunity to present this motion that is of urgent national importance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Presenting Fufore Song Federal Constituency, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Speaker from Adamawa State. I rise to support second motion presented by my friend and brother on the first leg of his motion. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Respected honorable colleagues, this motion is on attack on the Apagatu Federal Constituency, call for swift action against relentless, deadly invasion and attacks on the constituency. The House notes that series of deadly attacks commenced in Apagatu Federal Constituency of Benue State
Honorable Shagaya,
on January,
please be attentive.
On January 18, 2024, resulting in the tragic loss of more than 60 lives, including 3 security operatives, 2 soldiers, and 1 Nigerian security and civil defense personnel, who paid the ultimate sacrifice in line of duty. And where the attacks have devastated over 20 communities, namely Ogumogbo, Ikpele, Ejima, Ugboju, Omaga, Udugbeho, Okokolo, Opokolo, Edukwicho, Obugodo, Iwili, Omogidi, Idada, Iga, Ugboju, and other within Apagatu Federal Constituency. Also aware that the attackers suspected to be armed headers, have caused immense suffering, destruction, and displacement of innocent residents, leaving behind a train of sorrow, death, and despair. Concerned that many persons remain missing and their whereabouts are yet to be ascertained, compounding the anguish and their families and communities. Recognize that Apagatu people have consistently been victims of similar attacks in the past, and it is imperative for the government to address the root causes of these recurring attacks and invasion. Inform that there still exists an imminent threat for further attacks. Inform that worried that insecurity in Agatu, if not nipped at the board, will escalate to Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, due to its proximity to the constituency. Concerned that the attacks and displacement of my constituents, who are predominantly farmers and major producers of yam and rice in Nigeria, will certainly bring untold hunger and hardship on the citizen in the years or days ahead. Concerned that the routes and the location of these attackers are well known, hence it is a mystery why proactive measures are not employed to disseminate these invaders. Has resolved to urge the House to utterly condemn in the strongest terms the series of deadly attacks in Apagatu, Federal Constituency of Benue State, and express its deep condolences to the families and victims who have lost their lives, including the brave security operative who sacrificed their lives for the security of our nation. Mandate the House to observe a minute silence for the departed. Also urge Federal Minister of Defense, National Security Advisor, and the relevant security agency to take immediate and decisive action to restore peace, security, and stability in Apagatu. Further urge that the military special force unit be established in strategic locations and deployment of modern technology for security surveillance, e.g. drones, in the community. This will boost the confidence of the inhabitants to resettle in their community. Mandate the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence to conduct thorough investigation into Apagatu attacks and report to the House within 4 weeks. Urge the federal government to produce humanitarian assistance to the affected community, including the provision of relief materials, medical care, psychological support for the survivor and display. Distinguished Honorable Speaker, I so move.
Shagaya, and I represent Nigerians starting from Ilorin West, Asa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as ably moved by my friend and brother, Honorable Ojotu.
Motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. May their soul rest in peace.